you pay by the weight. This is up for $12. And it's
I just
sealed.
don't love how you're super excited about thrift shops, and I don't know. I just don't know if I want our relationship to entail like you be like, I got all this for $4 and I'm selling it for 28.
No, I got it for 11 and I'm selling it for 100 and something.
I'm just giving I'm just giving an
That's a
example. Like,
huge markup. Whoa.
The margins are good. Joe, I think you
Wait,
might
what?
like this.
I mean, I could be into that.
Yeah.
What did you just hold up? What was that?
Hold on. Let me show you. This doesn't
is
count.
my
Right? This doesn't
nightmare.
count.
The fact that I just said I don't want my life to entail this, and 2 seconds later, Joe goes, I could get into that. As you both know, my targets have been Jordan, Kobe's, and AIs. This is known.
Yes.
Don't get
It's
upset.
very much known.
And
This
then it's
is-
been known again.
This is
and
Wicked
again.
Good Pulls. We dive deep into the card trading business. If you don't
But
like
how
it, Joe,
deep
what
is too deep?
Can we add a rule though
Never
to
I'm
this
here-
podcast? Can we add a
what?
rule? A rule that we each can veto one word that we can never hear each other say again because we hear it too much when we listen back to the podcast.
I don't know if I'll be able to do that.
I'm not saying
If
I'm
it's
above this.
then I'm out. I can't do it.
I'm not saying I'm above
that's
this.
code for Mike. I don't want to hear you say what?
The word strategy.
Strategy. Yeah.
I don't want to hear
I was just gonna say
strategy
that. I can't
ever again.
Yeah.
Like
When
you
you
could
say a word
you
too much,
are-
it
you-
loses its meaning.
You can
Can
talk.
I use strategic?
No.
I'll
and
try.
no variation. But you can
What?
talk about the concepts of the buying approach.
Let me tell you about the tactics that I'm going to take moving forward.
There's the next word in 3 weeks we're gonna assault.
All right.
Go on.
So I have been experimenting, as I mentioned in a previous podcast, with Vince Carter's and Tracy McGrady's, and I just want to report back that the experiment is telling me that I need to find new players or other players because that's not going very well. But I'm also learning that, when you start to go outside of that kind of primary marketplace of Jordans, Kobe's, and AIs, because there's a lot more buyers and traders and collectors for those three than, other players. I'm feeling that what I would like to discuss with Matt is the approach around having players on the ready upon request, right? So I feel like oftentimes when I'm selling on Whatnot, somebody will bring up a player and I might have those cards. I just don't have them nearby, organized and ready to go. So Matt, I would love to know your system of being ready. If somebody brings up a random player, how are you ready to seize that opportunity? What do you do? Talk to me about it, please.
So it's both how you buy and then how you organize it literally in the space near where you're streaming. The purchase is pretty straightforward in that you just try to get a range, and the more rookies you have, the better. Like, I love Kevin Garnett, but Kevin Garnett doesn't obviously do as well as Jordan or Iverson or Kobe, obviously. But if you have rookie Garnetts, they do better than year twos and year threes. So pretty much whenever you're going through dollar bin boxes, just having really a list of players that you're willing to buy. So I go Garnett, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki. I'll get a Jerry Stackhouse or two. I'll get a Jason Kidd or two, basically to have ready. I don't plan on running them. I don't think that should be the expectation. I do think Garnett can go and Shaq can go and things like that. But it comes down to then the organization of it. So I when I put players in boxes, I use little tabs to identify who the player is, and I separate it kind of by era. So like if I'm doing a lot of Kobe's, I know that's late 90s, early 2000s, and you'll get all the way into Kevin Durant in Seattle, and you'll get to early LeBrons. So I'll keep all those cards together. But if I'm doing more Jordan, that's like the early 90s, and that's the Shaquille O'Neal, and you might even get like Larry Bird and things like that. So I just kind of have different types of boxes ready with those players to my left. So if someone requests it, or if I just get bored of running those guys, I have
Yeah.
it ready. The last way, though, I would separate is by insert. So there's certain Jordan and Kobe inserts that are iconic. Like I love some of the UD3s. Well, I have just a stack of UD3s ready to go. So the die cuts, and so it might be an Akeem Olajuwon, but it's the same insert that I just sold of Kobe.
Okay, so to
This
clarify
seems
though,
hard to facilitate. Hold on one second, because I'm just thinking about the logistics of this, and you've got a live show that you're trying to facilitate, and then while this is happening, you got people requesting stuff, and I just kind of want to explain this to everybody that is not a whatnot, enthusiast or knows what's going on. So now you have to, which I will say as a side note, both of you do a very good job filling the air. You always seem to be talking on your shows, and I don't know, that blows me away. You're just sitting there spouting off random like statistics or facts about players, and there's never like dead air. Oh boy, there's never dead air, and it's like a couple times I've been like really impressed by just like the knowledge level and the fact that you're just comfortably spitting this out to a group of people as you're trying to sell them stuff. And it's kind of wild. But I didn't even put into perspective the fact that you guys need to like on the backside organize and grab stuff, and your collections are huge. So it's like, what do you do? It sounds like
That's
you need
actually the organization's huge because I think I have it pretty well set up, but yet I'll miss people all the time because I just don't have it ready. So you have people pop in and they make a request, and some days you don't listen to requests because the show's going so well with what you have. But there's a lot of days it's not. And you want to be ready and you get more buyers in. Like once they buy one, they'll stick around. So you try to get to
Right.
that request quickly. And so I have my kids helping me a lot. So they'll go pull for me as I'm streaming. So that's helpful. But if they're not
So I
here,
need child labor available.
yeah,
Got it.
if
Yeah.
they're not here, it's
Yeah.
challenging.
I get it. Hey, you asked me to mod your show the other day. What does
Yeah.
that entail? What do I do?
So honestly, just talking in the chat. So I've read about the algorithm, and there's obviously people who purchase help your algorithm or your algo,
Mhm.
Joe. Um,
Yes, thank you, thank you.
But the more people who are talking in the chat, the more text and the more positive comments also is part of that. So I would want you to come in to literally just like describe the cards you see, and just the more times you hit enter and the more times the chat fill, the more it helps your algorithm. So you can also do some control stuff. I don't really know that yet, and that wouldn't have been my purpose necessarily, but you might actually be good at that because that's kind of a skill set for you. So I don't know where digital controls where you can help me as a mod.
Yeah, maybe we should practice. Um, I would like to actually come on the show and actually be a helper, and then occasionally.
You want to pull for me? You want to take Ryan or Leo's job?
Yeah, I think I do. Can we change that terminology though? I don't want to do that.
This is wicked
I'll
good pulls.
I
Joe,
know.
get your
I
head out
know.
of the
Seems like you have a
gutter. Come
problem with the
on,
word pull, but
get
that's
your
like
head out of the
No,
gutter.
third
just
of
in
our
that.
title.
Just how we used it. I think.
Do you want to pull for me, Joe?
Oh,
I have a show
um,
tonight. I think I'm going to do football, and it's not going to be a great one. I don't have a
we're
big show
going
ready.
away. We're going
That's
away in a
exciting.
little bit. We're not going to be
I got a
home.
show tonight. It's going to be football. It's not going to be a good one.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I'm trying to mix it up, and
That's cool.
I don't want to do Jordan and Kobe every time, and I don't want to do
Yeah.
Duke every time. So I'm doing a current, like an 80s to current football NFL show. And
Yeah.
I don't think I have any big cards that are going to go. So it's going to be a grind.
Well, hey, if you go into it with that mentality, then you're ready for it. It's going to be a grind. You're just going to sell things for $1
Yeah.
and you're going to just get ready. I'm just going to give you the warning so that you can also mentally prepare. Your shipping and packaging is going to be a pain because I'm assuming you're going to sell a ton of low price cards, right? That's what you mean by grind?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I have gotten better with shipping since listening back to that podcast where I vented for a while about that. But I have some systems in place to do it a little bit faster.
Yeah, they're called your children. You make them do
Yes.
it. That's your
Actually, Joe
system.
Joe told me how my team do it. That's what I do now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's some good advice. I know. I'm glad you finally took it.
So I just have so many little comments to what you both have been saying. One, Matt, I just want to point out, I actually think I enjoy the packaging process now. There's something very therapeutic of going through the packaging process with a movie on in the background. I love it. So I just want to say that I enjoy it.
But wait till you sell like a big dog and then you'll
Okay, got it.
struggle. Welcome to my league.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right. I'm only putting together like 20
And I got like
packages. You're doing like
25.
yeah. All right. Good point. Duly noted. And Joe, thank you for your kind words about our ability to fill, dead air, right? I would say that if there's any facts coming from me, they're wrong. They're not accurate facts. So when you say like, that's so impressive that you have this knowledge, I think I'm making them up. But what I'm learning is a lot of the people on the show, they have the facts. So you could actually be like, what year did he start? Right? Like you can throw questions out there. It's a great way to engage with people because they'll start telling you. And then it almost like, sometimes other people will disagree. So there's like this little debate going on or discussion, or they're figuring something out together. And so it gives you more like, I guess, fuel for discussion, right? You see what
So
they
you
say.
don't know all these facts. You're just randomly talking and spitting out nonsense.
Well,
I
no,
feel
I mean,
like, Joe, you gotta like the word facts, even what we're talking about the opinion of the look of the card half the time. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so that's
Well,
not a
I think,
I don't
fact.
know. I feel like there were
Like,
some side notes about like, did you know this? And I'm like, wait a
yeah. I
minute, how
mean,
did you
so
know
a
that?
lot of time where if you're talking about me, and I bet you that Matt is probably more just generally knowledgeable in terms of sports, like separate from the card aspect, just knowing more about players and when they started playing, what their scoring average might have been, those types of facts.
that's
I'm
all true.
definitely, yeah, I'm not knowledgeable. I mean, I definitely have a high level of awareness around like key 90s players because I just grew up watching them. So it's more just like memories from my childhood. But what I will say is I love watching sports documentaries. So a lot of times when I'm filling, just kind of talking, I'm usually referring to some sort of documentary that I just recently watched because then like 5 days later, now that the documentary is behind me, I've already forgotten all of that. Like I don't remember it. So I'm only like essentially what I'm commenting on is narrowed down to whatever my current documentary is. And that's as much bandwidth as I have. So
So you
FYI.
can't even recommend what a good documentary is because you forget about it
Well, right
completely.
now I'm
Space
watching
Jam.
the Legacy
That's
Lakers
Mike's
documentary.
documentary.
Space Jam is
Space
my
Jam.
Jam.
documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
But
like,
let's be
oh, I've
clear,
been
if
watching this
that
great
is the case,
documentary.
it's the Michael Jordan Space Jam, not the LeBron James
I
Space
totally
Jam.
agree.
Oh,
I
for
Okay,
sure.
totally
cool,
agree.
cool. All right, so back to I just have some follow-up questions for Matt about the organization being ready. I just want to clarify because I really do want to get better at this in terms of selling. So you said that you organize the players by name, by era, and by insert. And I
Yep.
guess I'm just wondering, like, is the primary category the name, and then within that name, then I kind of picture like boxes based on era, and within those boxes are organized names, like you said, like little tabs with their names. But I'm confused about like you're not taking like an Akeem Olajuwon insert and putting that with a David Robinson similar insert, are you? Or
So
like how?
I am because I'll run insert shows. So basically, it's mostly by player name, and there's one space for every player. However, certain inserts, like high level inserts that are really on demand, um, I will separate those, and I will take the Akeem Olajuwon out of the Akeem Olajuwon space only for that UD3, and I'll stack those 10 inserts I have because oftentimes during a show, someone will say, "Oh, do you have any more of those UD3s?" And then I'll
Got it.
fire off a Rodman, a David
Yeah.
Robinson, So that's and there's not many of them. There's only a few that are like nice inserts. Mostly it's by
Yeah.
player name, but like someone like Shaq who overlaps two eras of like the Jordan era and the
Yeah.
Kobe era, I'll only have in one space. So, but I keep they're two boxes. I have them in single row boxes. You know, my dollar bin stuff, the bigger 4-row boxes that have more modern cards, those stay on the shelf. And I pull over like, I don't know, probably a 500, 600 card box with those players. And really, when I go through and dollar bin hunt at my time of acquisition, players I don't have a lot of, I'll just pick one or two up and I'll just
Mhm.
create a spot for them. And I notice like there's certain players that I run out of. Like any new Shaqs I'll pick up. Any Derrick Rose on a Bulls jersey I'll pick up.
Mm.
Any Iverson, especially early Iverson, I'll pick up. Um, so like I'll
Mm.
always get those, but I'm only getting the Rip Hamilton that I have until that sells. I'm not buying more Rip Hamilton. I'm
Got it.
not
So you
buying,
you intentionally keep that inventory limited.
yeah, I'm not getting
'Cause
more
why
Jason
keep
Kidd.
investing in more? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
because
that makes sense.
once it sells and I go back, I'll kind of come with a list like, oh, I need to grab a couple Rip Hamiltons. I need to grab a
Yeah.
couple Jason Kidds, things like that.
All right, so the players that either I'm aware of that I know you sell or the ones that you mentioned today, I just wanna make sure I'm not missing anybody. So like Garnett, Shaq, Duncan, those names came up. I don't think you mentioned these names, but I know you sell them, and I know people ask for them. Is like Wemby's flags, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
that's a different era, but yeah.
yeah, different era, definitely. And but I'm just saying, like on the ready in case, like I do have a lot of people that will say, "Do you have any Cooper flags?" Like
Yeah,
that, I
Cooper
definitely have
Flag,
you.
Con Knipple. So that
That's
just in
kind of a
the
funny last name, Com
yeah, well,
Knipple.
they played
What?
at Duke together. That's why I do Duke
Oh, okay,
streams because you can cover Cooper and Con.
yeah,
Um, but so the rookies right now that you want to have are just a stack of, and there's definitely a range here. Cooper Flag, Con Knipple, Cedric Coward, Derek Queen, and VJ Edgecombe. Those are probably the five main. You can actually look up the rookie ladder for rookie of the year, and it kind of goes, the demand goes based on that, really. It's
sure,
Cooper and Con are rookie of the year candidates, and
yeah,
then VJ is probably third, and then Cedric Coward and Derek Queen. But like for a while, like when Derek Queen kind of blew up on the scene because he wasn't expected to be a great this year, for a while, uh, he was like really hot. So you got a lot of requests. That's calmed down. He plays for the Pelicans, who aren't that good. So um, there's not a
yeah.
ton of him.
I suppose that's the cool part about doing the modern era is, and you were saying this in a previous podcast of like, there's potential news that could increase the demand because obviously it's current, right? They're currently playing.
Yes.
So if they have an amazing performance in a playoff game, you might
Yep.
all of a sudden see like similar to like, you know, like a stock price being influenced by news, right? It's the same thing. Like a player could
So
have a big game
the example
and
I'll give you right now is Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo had zero value in any of my streams. No one wanted him. Then he went out and scored 83 points in a single game, and everybody's asking for him. So, and I
crazy.
I'm
just
sorry.
happen to have
Did you say
like
Crazy.
five.
83 points?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
And so everyone,
Nuts.
like, I have a bunch of base rookies that were, $2, $1 cards that people are bidding up to like $10, $11 because he just had a big day and that's a rookie.
Wait,
And
who did he play? What team did he score 83 points against?
I actually don't remember.
Oh my god. That
I can look
defensive
that up.
coach has got to go.
I mean, it became kind of fraudulent because at the end of the game, they're force feeding him the ball. Like they're calling fouls on him and he's getting a line. He went to the line a ton. But I didn't think Bam had that in his game. Like he was kind of a defensive big who could score like 15 to 20, and to have that sort of output's crazy. But back to the organizational system, he didn't even have his own slot because he wasn't selling. He was just in my Miami Heat area. So I
Mhm.
had to go pull the whole Miami Heat right after that happened and kind of have it sitting to my left so I could like just pull out any bands that I needed.
Yeah.
Maybe I will pull for you. I didn't realize it was such a struggle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your
So nice
thoughts
of you.
on, obviously us being from Boston? I don't know if it's just because I'm of the modern NBA that I'm watching. It's only the Celtics. I'm not following other teams. I'm not really following other players. I'm not super interested outside of the Celtics. Um, what are your thoughts on card value around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Obviously, they're huge names in the
Yeah,
NBA. I just don't know if it equates to good sales in terms of cards.
they're steady. I mean, they're like any other big name current player, but when you go on Whatnot, you're not pulling the Boston market. Now,
Yeah.
I
Mm,
what was
they
that?
have good chicken.
Um, I will have a lot of people that I know jump in my stream. I'm not really trying to sell to those people because they're like my kids' friends, parents, and I'd rather just be nice. We had that whole conversation and just give them stuff. But I would say they all have some value because the Celtics are good. So they're one of the better teams. And so
Yeah.
they have pretty standard value. And Jaylen Brown is in the MVP conversation. He's not in the lead. He's probably like fifth. But Jaylen Brown's had a great year.
He's having a great season.
And
Yeah.
when Jason Tatum got healthy, there's more demand. So, but any of those players, if you have a rookie, if you
Yeah.
have a cool parallel, there's pull, just like Jokic or Giannis or
Yeah.
LeBron or Kevin Durant, like any player like that. Obviously, like Wemby's pretty hot, but like Steph Castle's right alongside him. Um,
Yeah.
but like, so I have my problem. I think I get into. I like really like certain players that don't
Yeah.
necessarily have national pull. So like
Sure.
Utah has two players, Laurie Markkinen and Keontae George. I think they're awesome players, but the value's not there. And I end up overbuying those. I'll go and I'll put a stack together of Keontae George and I'll be like, he's so good. And they're like, yeah, he plays in Utah. We don't care.
Right. So that's the part where, and this is getting slightly off topic, but you bring it up. So for me, as I'm watching more of the Celtics, I'm realizing that I think my favorite player to watch is Jaylen Brown. I absolutely love his style. I know he's not a perfect player, and I felt that
His
way before
turnovers
this
get frustrating
season.
though.
But there's a part of the way he plays that makes me think back to 90s NBA. Like he penetrates, and he's just so freaking strong in the way
His
that he
mid-range
plays.
pull-up
It's not
is
a
unique.
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just enjoy watching him play. And so bringing it back to cards, there's a part of me that wants to just start building up my own PC, not for the sale of it, but because I just love watching him play. I think he's going to continue to do some great things over time. So like, I don't know what the value will be in his cards down the road post retirement, but I also feel like he's probably the player that's bringing me back to the NBA in terms of my interest. He's the guy that like I just love watching him play. I love Tatum, and honestly, the Celtics are very fun to watch for a variety of reasons, not exclusively him, but I also feel like there's something about the way he plays that I'm now getting a newfound interest in the NBA again for this era. And I really haven't been for so long. So part of me is thinking maybe that's, maybe at separate from all the selling of this stuff, maybe I just start trying to accumulate some Jaylen Browns, not for resale, but for my own PC. But I worry because I don't want to. Right now, everything I'm looking at is okay. What do I think I could get? I love buying Jordans, and while I have the Jordans, I actually love having them. But I also have no problem selling them. So it's kind of like I enjoy them while I have them, and then I sell them, and then I just have a constant flow of Jordans, and that's like so much fun for me. So that's where the hobby and the kind of the business side come together pretty nicely. I don't think I'll be able to sell Jaylen Browns, right? Like in the way that I can Jordans. And so that's the part I worry about. Like I'm going to start spending stupid money on Jaylen Browns because now it's like my own personal
But
interest
that's
versus
the
the act of
hobby.
selling. I
I
know.
hear you.
Right now, I feel like I've found a sweet spot of hobby and business
So
with Jordans and AIs, to be honest, and Kobe's. Like I love I love seeing the cards. I'll look at them. I walk around and annoy my whole family because I'll be like, look at this card. This is awesome. Here's why it's awesome. And they're like, please just stop. I'm in the middle of something. But I like appreciate just the card, like the card. Like I love seeing everything about it.
Well, all right.
So yeah.
So
Sorry.
I think you should, because you do a lot of basketball, I do think you should build up different eras of basketball. And I think the approach to buying your PC starts and should start similarly to how you buy cards of value. First of all, if they're a big name, they have some level of value. So Jaylen Brown does have value, and like all the big name players that are in the NBA currently have value. But you want to make sure, one, you're buying them at a good price, 70% or less of comp value. And I would start with low end stuff. I would get the shiny stuff or the cool inserts or the numbered or patches, like things like that always have value. And if you want to keep it, keep it. But as you build up kind of your inventory of your modern era players, Jaylen Brown should certainly be one of them. I do the same thing with Drew Bledsoe. Now,
I know I didn't want to bring it up.
but I also will collect current inserts and I try to put a set together. And then we frame them and we put them on the wall and all that. But I think with Drew Bledsoe, because you don't want to talk about it, I mostly buy.
I just feel like you probably are embarrassed, but apparently not. So go ahead.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm psyched. I love it. So I also frame those and I put them out where I can see them, because what's the point of your PC is to hide it away because you're not selling it.
Agreed.
So
Totally
I
agreed.
put it up and out, and I have as many bad 2 cent Drew Bledsoes as I have good, because the value doesn't matter as much. So start
Sure.
off by pulling them like the Jaylen Browns out of the dollar bin hunts. And then every now and then you'll be at a card show or you'll be at a card shop and you'll see a cool graded one. And you're like, you know what? I earned this. And like,
Yeah.
so I have like a really nice PSA Zebra Drew Bledsoe. No one would buy from me. He doesn't have demand really, but it was a good one. And I loved it.
This. I love that.
I earned this.
You just look
no,
right at it and go, "This is mine. This is me time right here. Me." And I'm just gonna
what's the point of this
stare
hobby?
at this Drew Bledsoe card for
Well,
like
Yeah.
but Matt,
30
I hear
minutes.
what you're saying, but the point for me is it is a very fun, enjoyable way to also make a little bit of extra money.
Yeah, the treasure hunt is the hobby more than the card.
And honestly, so like I have some Jordans here with me that I recently got, and I've just find myself looking at them. So truly, like
my wife makes fun of me all the time. I say I want to go downstairs and play with my cards.
Yeah,
and
I'm literally going to a friend's house in like an hour to just look at cards with them.
Yes,
like a
I do that all the
child.
time. I do it all the time. All the dads in my town, like their wives hate me because they're like, you've made my husband into a loser, because they just want to look at their cards. And honestly, I'll clean them, I'll organize them.
Yes.
And right now in my sight line, I probably have like
Wait,
35 Drew
you clean
Bledsoes.
and organize someone else's
Yeah.
collection?
No, well,
Oh.
I'll help them organize. I don't really clean them, but I'll clean my own.
Well, you just said I clean them. I thought
No, my own stuff.
I think he was talking about his own. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I misheard.
So I can tell that Joe is getting bored with this conversation. I can
we should
feel
probably
it's
move
palpable.
Yeah.
The main takeaway from this for me, though, Matt, and I'm very grateful for this conversation because I think it's given me a new plan. And I think what I want to do is start to build up a Boston Celtics niche.
PC.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I want to and go multiple eras, go from like the Bird, McHale, Parrish era, even before that, like see if I can find some, I don't know, like are there koozie cards out there? I don't know.
There's a lot of Dave Cowan stuff you can pick up pretty cheap.
Yeah, so I guess I'm
Koozie's
wondering
not
like
cheap.
before we were recording, you were talking about how you're gonna, rent a table at a show. So the idea of, well, if I enjoy Jaylen Brown and just the Celtics in general, I can start to build out that PC in the same way with the same intent, kind of like how you approached your Duke stream, where it was just like all Duke.
Yep.
And then I just advertise, and maybe I don't sell a lot because it's a small niche, or maybe it's successful, but maybe that's the middle ground. Like maybe that's the version of it that's more similar to my Jordan approach, where it's like the act of acquiring them, looking at them while I have them, and then selling them. That whole process is very fun for me. And so maybe I can take a similar approach, just instead of a single player, maybe I'm just looking at multiple eras across Boston Celtics history and focusing on building that repertoire up and eventually selling a show, or I'm sorry, starting a stream that focuses on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. That creates a hunt for you, which is great.
Yeah.
It also
I'm doing it.
allows
I'm
you
excited.
to bleed into like Celtics Lakers rivalry. You could do an all Boston show with the Red Sox, the
Yeah.
Patriots. So yeah, so there's different ways to take it. I don't know how much demand there will be for it because like I just haven't had people ask strictly for Boston, but
Joe's
every now and
pointing at
then,
his
yeah,
watch. That means you and I have to stop. So does that mean we're
apparently
out of time, or do we have to move on to a
No.
new topic?
So,
he's bored.
remember in the beginning, I'm bored, yeah. But I remember in the beginning, we just started talking, and I don't know when the show actually started. So just keep going. We're fine. Just, let's do like another 5 minutes or so.
Well, let's move on from this, but I would say
Yeah,
that
please.
that's fun for the hobby. It's also fun for potentially a niche show.
Yeah.
And who knows, the marketing I will find is more important. So you got to share your stream with the right people. Like if I don't get my Duke people in my Duke stream, it's going to bomb. So you got to build
Yeah.
up who are your Boston people that aren't just
Yep.
your brothers.
Yep. Fair enough. I'm gonna work on that. So can we go to an off-topic topic?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That
Joe
way
would love it.
Joe can feel a little bit more included and interested in the topic.
Yeah.
And Joe might be able to relate to the. Actually, no, both of you can, because Matt, you have a teenage son. Joe, you have a young adult son. But what you
Yep.
both don't have is a freaking teenage daughter. And
No.
I don't know. I don't have a specific goal of this conversation. I guess I need to vent with my blood.
I would suggest you be careful though.
Seem overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
Be careful.
100%. I would. Yeah, I'm not gonna like disparage my child.
I mean, I would, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like publicly going on record and saying something here is just gonna
And especially
no.
14-year-old
bite you
girl,
back later.
and anything you do feels challenging. So just be
Yeah.
careful.
You're setting this up right now as if I'm about to just like go on a rant about how terrible it is. That's not my intent. It's more, it's actually the conundrum that's presented in having a teen that like I kind of wanted to talk about. So what I mean by that is I think whether female or male teens, I think any parent of a kid in that age range, in the teen age range, knows what it feels like to deal with a kid who just thinks they know everything and they kind of dismiss any sort of guidance that you might offer. And I'm talking very, very basic. It could be 12 degrees outside and you could say, what do you think? Like a coat? You think a coat would make sense instead of like the tank top or the shorts?
You don't get it, Dad.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
no.
it's not even. It's like eye roll and a sigh, and then just
I
like
just
a,
get one that runs
I'm
away and
good.
says, I'm good. I'm good. Yes, that is the
I'm
statement.
good.
You get
Yeah, and
I'm
you're like, but
good.
you're not because it's 12 degrees.
Yeah.
It's literally below freezing. You're not good. And you might be good
Frostbite
right
is
now
real.
because you're inside. But once you go
Right.
outside, the rules change. It's much
Yeah.
colder out there.
You got
But anyway,
2
so like,
minutes.
The rules change.
Yeah.
well, you know, it's like, well, no, I'll just be, I won't be outside. I'll just be in the car and then I'll be in the house. It's like, yeah, I don't know. But like,
Yeah,
what
wait
if
till the car breaks
stalls?
down and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I recognize that a kid, and I definitely didn't, like they're not thinking about the like, okay, how can I be prepared for like a worst case scenario? Like obviously
Correct.
as parents, we're going to try and at least to some degree have a game plan if we encounter a tough situation for our family or for ourselves. And so
I have so many situations ready in my head. Like if there's a bomb over Boston and we have like 2 hours, I know where I'm going. Like I have everything ready.
yeah, so that's not a parental thing. That's just that's a
that is-
you thing. That's
my
a really
cards are
concerning
going with
thing.
me.
I have, you know what's funny is I shouldn't judge you too much because I have the same thing, but specifically in movie theaters. I have this.
Yeah, you
I
have a
step
weird
into a
thing with
movie
movie
theater
theaters.
and I'm just like, where are my exits? What, like, okay, and here's the plan. And I even if I'm like I have to verbalize the plan to Jen. I have to say like, okay, so if this happens, we go this way. If that happens, we go this way.
I don't
And I
like going
said
to
like,
movies
I'm going
with
to
you
jump
because of
down
this.
first. Yeah, I'm going to jump down first because you know how when you go up, right, the stadium seating, and now you're like higher up than ground level, but you could technically climb over and just drop down, right, onto the like towards the exit.
Yeah.
I'm not giving a great picture, but basically, you
Uh,
might have to fall from a tall height. Okay, so I've said to Jen like, okay, I'm gonna drop first, and then you're gonna drop each kid to me, and I'm gonna do my best to catch them, and then you've got to drop, and I'll do my best to catch you, and at least break your fall, and then hopefully we get out of there. I'll probably be like bones and pieces, but like that, I think
It's
is
not
probably our
that
best shot.
high of a drop. It's like
It's
15
about
feet.
20 feet.
No.
I think it's more than, well, I wouldn't want my kids
I think we
to
should
just
practice
drop
that
down.
drop.
I was
think we
gonna
should
say we
practice
need
it.
to run through an emergency
Yeah.
movie exit practice round.
You go
And
first and
then
catch us all.
yeah, Mike, you go first, and then I'll go second. You try to catch me, and if you can catch me, you got it made with your kids and Jen. Like it's fine. I caught Joe, so I'm good with anyone else that wants to
But I
fall.
do get this preparation thing because remember a few years back there was that scare in Hawaii where there was this missile being launched and everyone in Hawaii thought it was like on their way and they had a couple hours till it got there. So they were like freaking out. Hawaii was like, in chaos. I developed a plan. The only question I have is, do I put supplies down where I'm going to go for a bomb shelter? Like, do I put supplies there? Like, do I get that ready?
I actually think that there's some merit in just having like a go bag where you just got a duffel bag ready to go, like wherever you need to escape
This
to.
is taking a turn.
It's
Yeah,
not.
this
Yeah,
is
this
the
is not.
second
This is not
time
parenthood.
Yeah.
But I think
that
this shows the perspective that we have in that our kids aren't thinking that way. I mean, maybe it's
Yeah.
messed up that we're thinking in this depth of concern, but our kid isn't worried about the car stalling and not having a coat. I think that's fair to say. We're
Yeah.
worried for like a zombie apocalypse, but
Mhm.
okay. So there's a spectrum
But
there where
as
on
I
one
said,
side
I
You
we're
would
say
do
we're
well in that.
equally irrational about this.
yeah. Yes.
Would you say that? Yeah.
Absolutely. But here's the part that I struggle or that like I ponder, right? With because I can't even say it's a struggle because sometimes it's awesome. So with my 14-year-old, her name is Emmy. She first off, she is about 1,000 times smarter than I was at that age. So it's interesting that
Absolutely.
like she's
Yeah.
so capable and
I
intelligent
might
that
say she's smarter than you now.
I think that's a reasonable. I'd like to think no, but I don't. I think at minimum it's debatable. I think we could absolutely have that conversation, and you would probably make some valid points to say yes, she is smarter than you. And
I don't
so
think
as
it's
a result,
debatable.
okay, all right. I don't want to
All
get
right.
sidetracked here.
Jesus.
All right, I'll concede. Yes, she's smarter than me.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and say she's not more mature than me, right? Because, all right, so she knows how a coat works. I know how a coat works. But when it's 12 degrees, I wear the coat. She doesn't, right? So that's the difference. We
If
both know
that's
how
what
it
we're
works.
calling maturity, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that like really throws me for a loop is that there's so many more cool things. Like as the kids get older, there's more cool things that you can enjoy with them. And so an example of this is the other day we watched Interstellar together. And like I've seen that movie maybe 6 times and I love it. It's so much fun to watch that movie. And so now to be able to watch it with your kid and she's equally into it, and then it's almost like I'm staring at her for when they like have the reveal and I'm just looking at her like like yeah, and seeing her react. It's like so much fun to have a kid that's now like interested in kind of the same, like not like little kid Pixar movies, but now like into like some pretty cool storyline based movies. So things like that's fun. We can have conversations about like, what is the fifth dimension, right? And she's been talking to me about simulation theory now. And it's like, yes, like I'm
I feel like you're
in.
just messing with your daughter.
No, she brings this up. Like she and her buddy, they would hang out for hours and then they would come down and be like, we just kind of really like talked about how we're in a simulation theory. And then they started like telling me all of it. This was unprompted, but anyways, so it's fun that some of those weird interests are now like I share those weird interests, and it's great because she's fully capable of engaging in those topics and talking about it. And I
My kids
almost
just
feel
talk
like,
to me about like Ja Morant. You get fifth dimension stuff.
oh, but it's so great. It's so much fun. It's definitely right up my wheelhouse. But I almost feel like she's messing with me because I'll get so excited about these topics and we'll be so like, I'm like, yeah, like, yes, this is great. I'm bonding with my daughter. This is great. And then I'll make one comment and she eye rolls and just walks away. And like, now I'm done. Like, I'm like, oh, she hates me. Like, and it's just, I
You
pushed
came
my
in
luck.
thirsty. You're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
You,
yeah,
o-
yeah,
you
yeah. It was
overshot. You
too
overshot.
obvious.
My
Yeah.
despair, my
Yeah.
despair was too obvious, and then she got like, get out of here, like, okay, loser. And so it's just this weird
Do
combination
you ever try
of
to play it cool and it backfires too? Like you like
all the
that
time.
where you're like, well, and you try to like don't go as into the topic, like you try to pick your spot.
Well, my problem is I am so interested that I have to tell myself often, shut up and just listen, right? Like she's talking, you don't need to talk. She just listen to her. And that's hard. It's hard for me to listen. I like
As Joe
to
said,
talk.
you and I fill space quite a bit.
Exactly. So it goes against my natural instincts to like listen and not necessarily chime in, right? I want to chime in, but I also recognize that I need to let her formulate her thoughts, verbalize her thoughts, and listen. So that's just hard for me, but whatever. The tricky part is though when that happens, when those moments happen where we can watch Interstellar together, is so out of nowhere and unplanned that all I can do is just be ready, right? So all I can do is like, if the moment presents itself, okay, hey, I'm ready. Interstellar,
Yep.
okay, let's watch
Yep.
it. And so the challenge is, so this is not my joke, but like I heard this like on a meme or somewhere, but it's like having a teenage daughter is like living in a haunted house, in that you hear like weird sounds upstairs and in other parts of the house. Like you hear footsteps, you hear things fall. You don't really know what's going on. And then as soon as they appear, they disappear. Right. So it's like equivalent to having just a ghost in the house. And that is very, very true. The majority of her time, she's in her room, she's chatting with buddies. She's being a typical teen. But that to me, that emotional, like, okay, I don't want to be overbearing. I want to give her her space because she is 14, and most 14-year-olds don't want to hang out with their, early 40s dads, right? Like that's usually not happening too often. But yet, as she gets older, I'm starting to see we have more and more in common. So when the opportunity is presented, I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited. And then it goes away. What did you say under your breath in a passive aggressive way?
Poor kid.
Poor kid.
When you said we have
We
more
have a
and more
lot
in
in
common.
common. Yeah.
Dude, both of you would love talking to her about simulation theory, about the fifth dimension. You would be so enthralled, and there's no way you wouldn't engage in it. You would actually be genuinely interested in
I'm
that
into
topic.
that. I would totally do it. I just think if she
Yeah,
took
I
on
could
more
do
of
it.
your characteristics, it would be rough.
Yeah. So anyways, I
Well,
wanted to share that.
you got her
That's
mom to
going
balance
on.
her out,
That's
so we're
going on
good.
in my mind, And meanwhile, I also, the other day was picture day, and she walks out, every morning when she gets on the bus, I'll stand, at the front steps, give her a little wave, and that's really sweet. She doesn't seem to get embarrassed by it. She waves back. Truly, she's very kind in that way. Like, I don't know if she's doing that for me, but it's really sweet.
Oh,
But
the
the
crap
other
she
day,
must talk about you when you go as soon as you
probably.
leave. She's
As
just,
soon as the bus pulls away,
my
Yeah.
dad is just, yeah.
what a
Yeah.
loser. He's a
Right.
loser.
I'm just hopeful that
everyone
in the
smile.
long run, she'll be like, oh, that was so sweet of my dad to wave to me every morning when I got on the bus. I don't know. But I will say one morning, so oftentimes she's getting downstairs with maybe like 2 minutes until the bus arrives. She's completely independent. She gets herself ready. She's never missed the bus, so she does well. She just cuts it a little bit closer than I would prefer. However, the other day when she walked out to the bus, on picture day, it was 30 degrees. So it wasn't 12 degrees, but it was 30 degrees. And she's walking out. And this is where specifically it's hard for a father of a female. She has a skirt on and a tank top on. And there's 2 minutes. Literally, I see the bus coming down the road. So now I'm like, okay, I don't want the 2 minutes I have with her in the morning to be me giving her a hard time about this outfit that reveals just a little bit more than a father would be comfortable with. I have 2 minutes to discuss it. So what do I do? And she doesn't have time to do anything about it. It's the bus is literally coming down. So I just said nothing. And I just sat there and waved to her and like blew her a kiss and
Oh my God.
walked into my
All right.
house. It was like,
You know what a good father would have done?
She's going to come home.
A good father would have been like, get upstairs and change right now. And then you run out and you stand in front of the bus and you wait till she changes and comes back down.
I'm not going to hold
you
up
just
a bus.
drive
I'm an
her to
educator.
school.
Hold the
I'm not going
bus.
to do that to a
Hold the
bus.
bus.
Drive her to school.
No, I
Or
work in
driver's school.
education,
Oh,
and
I like the
never,
idea.
I would never throw off a bus route. You know, that impacts
Yeah.
all the kids thereafter.
That was a
I'm not
weird
doing
ad.
that. Joe, that you're not thinking right there. That's wrong. But I guess I just feel like I agree. I mean, there will be moments where I have to say this is unacceptable. It's not happening. But am I going to do that at 6:48 in the morning when she has to go to school in 2 minutes? And moreover, like we decided, she's pretty intelligent. So she's going to somehow verbally convince me that it's okay. And you know what I mean? It's like she won't just be like, "Okay, Dad, I agree." There's going to be a back and forth, and we don't have the time in the 2 minute window to do that.
I love how you already know she's going to convince you.
Mhm.
Like that she's going to talk you into it. Like it felt wrong to you. And yet part of your process was she's going to tell me how it's right.
I'm just
and
gonna
I'm going to concede.
swallow this down and
Yeah.
save it for the therapist later.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because I don't want to be that father that's. Yeah, I just don't want to over control her outfit. You know, there's a balance between being like the overprotective dad and drawing the line and also letting her be who she is. And
I get it.
I'm not
Guys,
a girl,
we gotta wrap
so I
this
don't
up.
know.
It is.
Okay.
We're running long. Yeah.
All I'm saying is it's not as simple as it seems on a day-to-day basis. And that's all. But she watches Interstellar and she enjoys simulation theory.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
And
that's
that
cool.
is
I'm
the
glad you
silver
got that
lining.
moment with her.
We
You're
gotta
gonna
wrap
take that
up.
one to the grave, I think.
We
So
didn't
anyway,
get to
that's
talk
gonna be
about
the
my
last
Jordans.
time you guys hang out. But anyway, yeah, that was a good show. I love it.
I love you
Just
guys.
It was
Cut
wonderful.
the end of it out.
Good day,
Uh-huh.
sir.
Good day,
No.
sir.
No.
Good day, sir.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
guys.
All right, guys.
Love you.